Nirupana 104, Sunday, April 1st, 1979. Ordinary people cannot get self-realization. They see themselves as bodies. Unless body consciousness is eradicated, self-consciousness cannot arise. The fact is that impurity of the gross body cannot affect consciousness in the body. Yet the same consciousness is moving about in the form of the body. Whatever apparent happiness one enjoys also becomes a source of misery. The self identifies with the body and loses its perfection. So long as there is a concept of birth, there is misery. Consciousness is formless, pure and holy, but it is laden with the concepts of ego and birth. One who is disgusted with worldly affairs becomes detached. Because of body identification, it has got mixed up with the 5 elements. The knowledge in the body is the holy side of God. It is He who makes one understand that the idea of birth is false. He crushes the sense of individuality. Consciousness is busy with many thoughts. With the Guru's guidance, you have to turn it back onto itself. One who understands that there is no difference between consciousness and the Guru becomes enlightened. When one believes that he is not the body, he gets the grace of the Guru. Consciousness is infinite and unlimited. Then how can it have death? By the Guru's grace, the birth of the body becomes the birth of Brahman. Then the seeker forgets that he is a particular individual. Even when the jnani is all-pervading, he still has one desire. Knowledge should continue to progress. He keeps looking out for someone worthy of receiving the knowledge and to pass it on. As such, all are devotees of God. Devotion to God is devotion to the self. Everything is done to perpetuate the sense I am. According to the Guru word, if you worship the formless consciousness, you will be immortal and indestructible. You will understand that your true nature is Parabrahman. Does the self have needs, such as food and wife and children, or are they for the devotee? The self is mistaken for the form of the body. Those who have the knowledge of the self have pervaded the manifestation and transcended it. They are Parabrahman, beyond form and qualities. If you have realized the self, rituals, religions, black or white magic, curses, or ghosts are of no consequence to you. Instead, they turn you back and strike those that direct them upon you. One who plays with a jnani brings misery to himself. If you believe the fortune teller, you have not acquired knowledge of the self. In the dream, the world is seen. In the dream there also appeared your own body. The dream eventually ended and the world disappeared. Then what happened to the one who saw the dream? Did he see his corpse lying there? He never came and never left. Atman is not prana. Recognize this fact. It will not be enough if you just memorize it. What is there in the body due to which we know we are? You must practice devotion to the Guru, non-dual devotion. Be vigilant. Prepare yourself to see the bliss of the last moment. For others it is a dreadful event. Nirupana 105, Thursday, April 5th, 1979. Birthday of Lord Rama. When Rama was born, he had no knowledge of Parabrahman. His guru, Vasishtha, taught him that he was Parabrahman, without beginning and end, and he was not the body. You must recognize Rama's birth through direct devotion. Your beingness is the incarnation of Rama. All living beings have beingness. All worldly activities are for passing the time. They are of no use to you. The one who says, "I am dying," is making a great mistake. The one who talks about Rama is your own consciousness. The one who realizes the birth of Rama is not stricken by death. That which is prior to any memory, that which is self-sensing, is the true nature of Sri Rama. Your feeling that you are is the holy side of Sri Rama. That due to which we know we are is the yoga, union of Sri Rama. Parabrahman has forgotten himself, but by the grace of the Guru, he realized himself. The holy feet of the Satguru are the same as Sri Rama. Atman, the Self, is not pleased without contemplation and devotion to the Guru. Rama, whom Sri Vasishtha taught, was the Rama whose physical presence was acting in the world. The one who made him cognize Parabrahman was his own self. Your consciousness is the Guru's feet. Please remember this. If you are fearful, just repeat Guru, Guru. Prana provides consciousness with everything and nourishes it. Prana is Maruti, Hanuman, a devotee of Rama. And consciousness is Sri Rama. If you want to see Rama, please your prana. For that, keep on repeating the mantra constantly. The source of mind is prana. The source of prana is consciousness. The fact that you know you are is Rama himself. Prana provides it with everything. Your beingness has suddenly come to your awareness. That is the birth of Rama. For understanding this, discrimination is necessary. It might be that one is polluted by many sins. Even then, if one's faith in the Guru is strong and one has been initiated by the Guru, his sins are absolved and reduced to ashes. You must be anxious about contemplation of the Guru. To remember the birth of Rama, treat your consciousness as the holy Rama. There is no metaphor for the Guru because there is nothing that can be relatively compared to him. The cognition of Rama is the recognition of your pure consciousness. It is praised with an infinite number of names. They are the names of our own self. This conviction is necessary. Parabrahman is absolutely open and clear. See that with determination. If you have seen the state of deathlessness, you will always be at peace, even when others criticize you. Do not tell others, but repeat mentally, "Am I not Rama himself?" You are experiencing this tape of consciousness for a few days. It will go away. Whether the body goes or stays, do not let go of the Guru's feet. There is no effort for that. A rare one gives his consciousness the status of the Guru. It is a great fortune. Keep yourself in awareness, but not as the body or as the mind. One who gets the Guru's grace requires nothing else to meditate upon. What is required is faith and trust. With that you become immortal. This will not be understood without devotion. The Guru is prior to words. The one who speaks the word is prana. Without concepts, just see what you naturally are. Then all that you have believed so far will spontaneously go away. Since birth there have been desires. They are pacified only through knowledge of the self. Those who prattle about self-realization are making themselves cheap. Remember this well. Going around naked is not detachment. It is detachment when one becomes aware of the fact that everything is transient and is going to perish. Nirupana 106, Thursday, April 12th, 1979. Maharaj's birthday, Hindu calendar, Hanuman Jayanti. When consciousness realizes consciousness, it is called self-realization. Consciousness has no form, then how is one to recognize it? How does consciousness know itself? Consciousness identifies itself with the body, which has been changing since childhood. Consciousness is aware of itself, but it has not recognized itself. Consciousness should keep the body aside and look at itself for a moment, then its knowingness disappears. Consciousness forgets itself, and samadhi ensues. Consciousness is by nature universal. The body may pertain to a worm, but its consciousness contains the universe. This will be understood when consciousness realizes itself. All the names pertain to consciousness. The worthiness of consciousness differs according to the different types of bodies. You experience time. It means you are the witness of time. It also means you are not time. The luminous, all-powerful consciousness has taken itself up as the body. It has become weak. The body is only the food for consciousness. Consciousness is not a doer. It only witnesses. It has taken up names like Rama, Vishnu, and Shiva. It has no birth or death. If there were birth and death, it would have been told you stories of thousands of births. But does it remember even a single birth? You cannot hold on to consciousness as it is free and all-pervading. Be true to your consciousness. In the beginning you may feel restless, but it will not fail you. Surrender to it, as it is God. Our true nature does not know that it is. Out of this, the feeling I am developed, followed by the world. When one is in a state of everlasting truth, one is beyond experiences. In this state, nothing is known. We do not know ourselves. In the state of ignorance, one gets involved in worldly activities. They will not last. You have nothing of your own that can be protected. What is the sum total of our spirituality? It is to find the truth and untruth about us. All that can be found is the untruth. It is due to the quality of sattva, the knowing faculty, that one experiences beingness. The sweetness manifests itself in sugar. Like that, the knowing faculty sattva manifests as mind. And you are not the mind. Consciousness may expand itself to any extent, but it has to become unmanifest again. That is its nature. You want your beingness. But how are you going to fulfill that need? That which is prior to knowingness knows that the quality of sattva will not last. Then who will inherit what the knowingness does? Nirupana 107, Thursday, May 3rd, 1979. Krishna says, "That which is in the heart of a human being prior to any experience is my true nature. The world is known through it. The knowingness has been created unknowingly as our consciousness has come over us unexpectedly. Witness the consciousness. It is self-luminous. It is the seed of the world. The same as Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb mentioned in the scriptures. Everything is hidden in it. Krishna says, Jiva implies consciousness. The totality of consciousness is my true nature. Focus your attention on that by which you know you are. Whatever is consciousness. it has forgotten its true identity. Therefore it believes itself to be the small body. Do not ill-treat the body, but observe consciousness that is in the body. That is the holy sight of me, the Supreme Self. So says Krishna. This is his true experience. There are many gurus in the world. A rare one tells you to pay attention to the consciousness in the human body. Meditate on your consciousness. Do not pay attention to things known through consciousness. Your inbuilt love for yourself is the highest devotion. Be devoted to the love, I am, which is now listening. It will bring you contentment. The body is just a happening, a condition. The experience of immortality means there will never thereafter be the experience of death. Worship your consciousness as God. Rituals are only for passing time. Devotion of this kind is prescribed for steadying the consciousness. Do not entertain any idea of your gender, whether male or female. That is only an incidental condition, a temporary phase. The body may go on or come to an end, but you are the luminous consciousness. According to the Guru word, one who merges with his true nature is a yogi. It means that consciousness has realized itself. Worship consciousness with consciousness. One who sees his consciousness as all-pervading, his every action is an offering to Brahman. The self-sensation, I am awake, is the holy sight of God. Everything is seen through him, but he is not seen. Who is he? He is your own pure consciousness. All the 14 types of learning and 8 spiritual powers belong to him. The body is the food for consciousness, God. It is not his nature. You may be working, you may be young or old, but you never forget whether you are a woman or a man. The unbroken contemplation of one's own nature should be like that. The devotee's consciousness is the same as the Lord's feet. By its virtue, the whole world moves. Krishna says, I am the consciousness in the heart of each human being. My incarnations mean the incarnations of consciousness. Nirupana 108, Sunday, May 13th, 1979. As water is the support for moisture, so Shiva is the support of the jiva, the individual being. Shiva is consciousness. Because of delusion, your consciousness has identified with the body. Therefore you die in the end. I am not talking to the body, but to consciousness which hears through the ears. Consciousness that goes about as the body with its name is called an aspirant, one who is desirous of liberation. Almost all devotees in the world are aspirants, mumukshus. The devotee who has given up bodily identification is called a seeker, sadhaka. Aspirants may be great scholars, but they are not seekers. Once convinced of his true nature beyond any doubt, one becomes a siddha, the liberated one. An aspirant is male or female because of identification with the body. The seeker is neither male nor female. The listener is formless. That which acts and carries on worldly affairs has a form. But if the energy that is without body is not there, does the form have any value? The consciousness that listens is God. This fact should be imbibed thoroughly. If you do not understand your worthiness, you will have a fear of death. You have given a life sentence with hard labor to the one who is free by nature. The nature of the self is consciousness, not that of a person. The jiva has a sense of duality, separateness. Just through concepts, visions arise without any substance. Whether there is form or formlessness, consciousness is infinite and unlimited. It is both manifest and unmanifest. Only to give it meaning, it is expressed in words in this way. Unknowingly you came to know you are. This understanding has no form. Things are seen only when the mind gives them a shape. There is no difference between the speaker and the listener. The nature of mind flow is according to the worthiness of one's form. For one who believes himself as formless, the mind will flow accordingly. He will be thought free. To carry out action is rajoguna, the quality which makes a person restless and forces him to act. Tamoguna, ego, takes the credit of it and says, I did a good or bad thing. Consciousness is pleased with its own quality, sattva guna. All activities arise in the manifest. It is transient. There is no such evidence in the unmanifest. Because of the vibrations of prana, the basic consciousness has become vast. It is transient, so it is called illusory. When it goes beyond consciousness, it becomes unmanifest even when there is a body. So how can there be death? It is like the heat which is manifest and yet unmanifest. The heat in hot water disappears when cooled. In the same way, the knower of the self disappears at the end. When prana leaves, so does the heat fire. The jnani neither comes nor goes. He is by nature unmanifest. The thoughts of worldly affairs keep flowing in the mind of a householder. Similarly, the seeker always thinks of self-realization. Make friends with your consciousness as if it is God. Worshipping it will make you happy. Nirupana 109, Sunday, May 20th, 1979. One says that he was not there prior to birth. Consciousness now says that it was not there. That is a puzzle. The one who knows he was not there says it. Who was there as a witness prior to consciousness? Where there is no experience of the body, there is everlasting truth. It is. One who experiences is transient. Have you understood your present identity? You worry for yourself, you look after yourself, you are anxious about yourself. Yet do you know for whom it is? We do everything for the I that we try to protect. What and who is that I? You are worried, but for whom are you worried? This experience has come unexpectedly. Do you understand it? Consciousness is an illumination due to the experience of the self. Please understand that the one who speaks is the knower of consciousness. You consider yourself as the body, hence you believe in parents. But you are self-luminous. You have no parents. Your sense I am that has the memory of meeting me is the guru. Do not treat it as the body. Whatever knowledge you are hearing is all a modification of the mind. It is a tool, a device. It is only an aid. The temples, devotion, etc. are devices, ways of thinking, aids to realization. In order to live happily, one should use such devices together with right discrimination. This is the meaning of spiritual science. Using such devices and rituals, one has to untangle the knot of Maya. The cause of this is consciousness, as gunas. The body is a dal of food. The essence of the body is consciousness. It is created along with prana, which carries out all the worldly action. Consciousness stays as the witness. It is the knower. Yet consciousness is of the category of Maya. Because of consciousness, we know we are. Due to Maya, it considers itself as the body. This misidentification is removed by the grace of the Guru. The one who knows that consciousness was not originally there is eternal. Consciousness has no support. Hence, it takes itself as the body. Maya is a covering that has come over the true nature of Paramatman, the Absolute. First comes consciousness, and then the body is known through it. To feel that we are the body is Maya. This itself is the delusion. The Absolute says as if, I have been covered all over by Maya, and I do not know myself. This is the guna Maya, delusion due to consciousness. The self has no wishes or desires. Under the influence of Maya, the self says, I am sinful. Most importantly, one must know that the body is not one's identity. When there is no experience of the mind, consciousness becomes luminous. The one who is prior to consciousness observes this. The one who knows guna is prior to guna. Guna, consciousness, means Maya. The knower has no connection with consciousness. When a person says, I am the doer, he is influenced by Maya in the form of his consciousness. No desire in the world is satisfied completely. Because of guna Maya, manifested consciousness, our wants never end. When one understands Maya, desires and expectations go away. What is the sign of self-realization? There is no fear of death. To achieve this, one has to follow the Guru word. I am formless, without body, and of the nature of pure consciousness. This cannot come through rituals. Such means are of the nature of Maya. Hold on to the Guru word. Change your false understanding and the blessings you look for will come through. Many high-learned people come to see me. They can recite all the scriptures from memory. However, they do not say a word. They wonder why they never get such an experience. Their capital is what they know after the rise of consciousness. They are knowledgeable about many things, but there is still something lacking. They do not know their own self. They call themselves knowledgeable based upon the strength of the information they have gathered. Without the Guru's grace, the self cannot be known. What has happened and due to what the scholars do not undertake this search. They do not inquire why they know they are. So long as there is consciousness, there will be memories. But when consciousness itself is rooted in ignorance, is the world true or false? The ignorance was transformed into knowledge. Still, is it not ignorance that is at the root? The Satguru is the witness of both the unmanifest and the manifest. He is perfect Brahman. He is ever present. You will be perfect Brahman by following his word. Water, fire, air, space, do they ever die? They only appear and disappear. Similarly, can there be any death for you? All the worthiness, all the importance is present in wakefulness. Once wakefulness turns into deep sleep, knowingness becomes zero. Jiva, Jagat, and Brahman are forms of your consciousness. Wakefulness and deep sleep are two stages. The jnani knows that one is converted into another. He is the witness of the two stages. Nirupana 110, Wednesday, May 30th, 1979. The jnani cannot be recognized by bodily appearance. The image created by your intellect is absolutely of no use. The reason is that the self is prior to the intellect. Then how can the intellect assess it? If you do not know yourself, then how can you ever know other people? Words have no impact on the jnani. Mind has all the experiences. Therefore, the various states of being do not transcend the mind. Can another person have a dream that is exactly like mine? Each one's experience is different. Does even the best of men enjoy his knowingness? Everyone is valued according to his body and his behavior. The dreams that people dream, can they ever be the same? Similarly, everyone's knowledge is different. The experience of beingness is the same, but can the behavior of the mind be the same in all? I would prefer an atheist than a spiritual seeker who is unsteady. You may reject God, claiming that you have no direct knowledge of Him. But do you not have the awareness that you are? What about that? The self is of the nature of the self. It cannot be defined. It is not of the nature of the body. You take responsibility of all your actions because of your body consciousness. First, investigate as to how you came to know you are. Nothing can be avoided. However, it can be understood. If it could have been avoided, one would not have taken the form of the body. When a concept arises, how to avoid it? Be free by saying to yourself, I am not the concept. When the food is bad, does anyone need to be told that it should not be eaten? The knower of the self has got only one posture, i.e., knowledge of the self. The rest are traditional concepts. When and how did you get the thought that you are? Follow this thought assiduously. In order to eradicate the concept I am the body, bring in the concept I am Brahman. It is like cutting a diamond with a diamond. Consciousness has to be realized. One has to understand who he is, what the world is, and where their joining point is. What does it mean when we get the information that we are? It means we love ourselves, and hence we are compelled to love others. If you have no need of yourself, there will be no need for others. The real meaning of I am that is I am everything. Do not dwell on the memory of others. It is the source of bondage. You worry with the memory of your children, etc., but when they were not there, did you have their memory? As relations grow, misery also increases. Therefore you are miserable due to the memory of your bonds with others. You are a jiva because of your attachments. Shiva is manifest and all-pervading. He dwells even in insects. You are bothered by the memory of me and mine. If your prana leaves you just now, what connection shall you have with these memories? Why shouldn't we be as we are after prana leaves us this very moment? Why should we go on worrying unnecessarily? There are infinite number of memories. Which of them shall I hold on to and experience misery with? After death, all relations come to an end. Then why not experience the same condition right now? You believe you have parents, but they are not separate from you. What they call Chit Ananda, bliss of consciousness, is only an entertainment for humoring the self. I have no memories. I have roasted myself without fire and have eaten myself up. Nirupana 111, Thursday, May 31st, 1979. Krishna says, I reside in the hearts of all beings, but I am especially manifest in the heart of a human being. I am directly present there. Bhagavan means the luminous one. Therefore, consciousness, which is also luminous, is my manifestation. The love, which has come without asking, is also my manifestation. One who realizes it becomes like me. I am the beingness in all living things. My manifestation means my own true nature. A particle of gold and a heap of gold, both are gold. My special manifestation is the consciousness in humans, and the one who realizes it becomes me. Then he understands what this movable and immovable world is through his own consciousness. I am prior to intellect, and those who are trying to search for me through intellect will not find me. One that is prior to memory cannot be remembered. Nirguna is prior to consciousness. That which acts is the mind. When the sages talk, it is the knowledge of their minds. Consciousness cannot be shown, but it acts through the mind. The body is the food for beingness as consciousness. As there is warmth in hot water, so is the Atman in the body. When hot water cools, does it mean that warmth is dead? Did it get extinguished? After prana leaves, its characteristic disappears. That which never came never went away. Consciousness is knowledge. The knower of consciousness is called Parabrahman. He is beyond self-sensation. It is because of the memory of your relations that you have forgotten your true nature. The one without a second became aware of his beingness, and that gave rise to so many bodies. Which particular body should he accept as his own? Is any single body comparable to him? People give great importance to self-realization, but Paramatman is beyond it. One who is proud of his realization has not yet ripened. Nothing can be done. Just observe. Actions bring misery because one accepts doership. God nourishes us all, but not through intellect. Just see. His 5 limbs, earth, water, air, fire, heat or luster, and space, have no need of any intellect. The 6th is consciousness. It also has no need of intellect. The jnani may appear to be a doer, but that does not affect his bliss. Do not do anything. Understand what you have heard, and then give that up also. Do not take yourself as someone special. If you realize your consciousness, you will not be affected by your thoughts. Then the body may behave in any way it pleases. There is none other than God. So whom does he oblige? Is he not experiencing only himself? Once you reach the point prior to consciousness, you become all. Remember this simple thing. Consciousness is the thief. The same is God. It is the donor and also the beggar. It came unasked for. When God showers his grace upon you, is it for him or for you? If you are not, is God there? Means or methods will never help achieve Parabrahman, the Absolute. Nirupana 112, Sunday, June 3rd, 1979. Millions of gods have come and gone. You are the root of them all. You want to go beyond, but you are at the root. Be one with it. You know the word, and not the other way around. So why do you want to be free of the word? You already are beyond words. When there is no sense of I am, is there any God? He is the luminous form of consciousness. You will only behave according to your likes and dislikes. After leaving this place, if you go on ruminating over what you have heard here, your likes and dislikes will vanish. So long as I am drinking the juice of the body, the breath continues. You worry for yourself, but before your parents saw you, who gave you air, water, and food. Who made the body grow? The body is the food for consciousness. Spiritual rituals are given as a punishment of hard labor. There are no intentions in the mind of a jnani. We say you must get knowledge. Then what should happen to you? Just know that animals, birds, insects have all been created out of you. If you understand this, then is there the need to love the whole world? You are the world. That which was not known has become known. The root duality is that you sensed your own beingness. Are you free from your desire to live? That is the real bondage. The very experience of your beingness is untrue. You say the words, you hear them, and you give a meaning to them. The word and its meaning may be called the jiva. The knower of them is called Shiva. Jiva and Shiva are the names of one and the same entity. As Shiva, it is pure knowingness. Prana is energy. When the power leaves the body, Shiva does not complain. Jiva and Shiva are names. Jiva and Shiva are due to Shiva alone. The true nature is prior to names. Shiva has no identity other than your pure consciousness. He has no sense of I amness. To have relationships is the sign of being in the jiva state. Shiva is prior to understanding. Before knowing, one says, I am the body. After knowing, you will know that as many millions of bodies as there are, they are all yours. The one who is listening has no bondage. Recognize it. No need to try and free it. Nirupana 113. Thursday, June 7th, 1979. Satchit Ananda is experienced when there is consciousness. The bliss is felt by consciousness. It is qualitative, and hence it is not the eternal truth. One talks about Parabrahman, but the Absolute does not know itself. For the sake of Parabrahman, you have to sacrifice Brahman, the manifest. Is time known through consciousness, or is consciousness known through time? As long as there is consciousness, there is time. There is nothing outside the Brahmaranda in the crown of your head. Whatever is seen and sensed exists in that aperture. The name mantra given by the Guru is proof in itself of the Guru's word. The name given by parents is a proof of death. How do you get self-realization? Do we make an effort for waking up? The one who follows the Guru's word does not have to make special effort. One who has accepted the Guru's word will not be controlled by time. Jiva means consciousness, whereas the Atman exists in the sattva quality but is not affected by the quality. Because of sattva, all our experiences are coming to us. They say prana left the body, but Atman neither comes nor goes. It is not bound by prana. The knowledge of the self must be known by the self. There is no greater devotion than devotion to the Guru, non-dual devotion. It transcends the Vedas. There should be the conviction that the Guru's word itself is I. When you go about as a body, it is like stirring up the reflection of something in the water. Use the body, but do not allow body consciousness to stick to you. Nirupana 114, Thursday, June 14th, 1979. Rarely does anyone deliberate on why consciousness has been created in us. One amongst a million might ponder on it. Consciousness means our sense of I am. Only a rare one holds on to consciousness as taught by the Guru. During the practice of meditation, many experiences come. Seekers get stuck when they get spiritual powers and people honor them. Only the one who continuously discriminates is able to progress. As a spark is emitted from an electrical short circuit, similarly, consciousness has also come out of a short circuit. We have heard words like Jiva, Paramatman, etc. But what was there before these words were heard? How was the listening created, and from what? Do we have any identity apart from consciousness? The period for which consciousness remains is called the span of life. The one who becomes one with his true nature is a jnani. He observes how consciousness has come over his true nature. He is one without a second. He is not his knowledge, I am. He is the knower of the source of consciousness. It would seem that the jnani also goes about doing worldly activities just as anyone else, but he is completely free within. He knows that no quality of any of the 5 elements can be used to describe his true nature. Everything is created out of nothingness. There is no creator. Everything is happening spontaneously. There is no design with which to identify a jnani. Through meditation, merge consciousness into consciousness. The Guru word is your true identity. You are pure consciousness. Everyone knows this truth, yet one identifies with the body. When the essence of food dries up, consciousness disappears. Go to the subtle. Unless you realize the subtle, you will not realize the gross. When prana leaves the body, consciousness disappears. It does not die. When consciousness, guna, forgets itself, it is called nirguna. What you have heard and believed to be true has to be suffered or enjoyed. Therefore believe everything as untrue. The knower, in spite of having consciousness, having a body and a view of the world, is still nirguna, without quality. The reason is that he is the knower of all these. The whole world got created in the void of subtle consciousness. Then it was felt that we are in the world and the misery started. But when this I amness goes, we are free. It is all enacted in the cerebral aperture. One feels one is awake in that aperture, and the vast world is created. When there is a change in that aperture, the world also changes. Therefore, give up body consciousness, your ego. The attachment to the body is the impediment. The root of the 5 elements is atomic consciousness. The whole world is contained in it. How can the jnani take the world to be true? The ignorant one believes it is true, therefore he experiences misery. One who identifies with the body is the sufferer and the enjoyer, not the jnani. Recognize the truth. Leave aside all concepts. Recognize the creation of your consciousness. One who recognizes it goes beyond birth and death. He never comes or goes. It takes time to accomplish good work. Bad work can be performed immediately. Good work brings well-being. Nirupana 115, Thursday, June 28, 1979. It is not possible to keep your identity permanently. What is your true situation? Before all this became visible, you were in existence and will always be so. However, the identity taken up by you that I am so-and-so will pass away. All your associations will not remain with you. You did not have any experience of the two states of wakefulness and sleep before. Now you are experiencing yourself in the world during these two states. When these states were not present, the 5 elements were not there. You did not have knowledge of your beingness. Then what was there? There was only perfection without any need of your beingness. Wakefulness itself is the universe. Sleep gives rest. That means there is comfort and rest for the being. Any state of being is transient and therefore imperfect. The whole experience is imperfect, yet you stick to it. You have no experience of wakefulness in your sleep. There is no experience of sleep during wakefulness. The dream experience is in between. The experience of beingness is only in these stages. The seer who knows that all experience is untrue is immortal. When you were without the 2 stages of wakefulness and sleep, did you ever feel the need of your beingness? The phenomenal world spread out of the primordial illusion, Maya. No one created it. It has no creator, nor destroyer. Only wakefulness has come over you. Our consciousness automatically takes the form of the universe. Where is the seed of the universe? The feeling that I am awake, accompanied by the expectation to continue, is the seed. This itself is the dream. One sees the world, but how many recognize the seer? You have constant worry and fear. The beingness has come over you without your asking. When it vanishes, where does the world go? When awake, wakefulness is infinite. In sleep, it rests in the seer. It does not go anywhere. The 2 stages, sleep and wakefulness, were not there, so how can they die? With good fortune, one meets a perfect man and he clears your vision. With his blessing, one may get the experience of immortality. Those who practice devotion to the Guru, non-dual devotion, become immortal. Presently, the beingness has no peace. Deep sleep is the only experience of peace. Wakefulness and sleep are a puzzle through which you realize yourself. But you have no connection with this puzzle. You go about with a name and a body form and say that you are alive. You earn and accumulate, only to die in the end. There is the illusion of grief, misery, and fear. But you have accepted it as true. The scriptures say that you had an infinite number of deaths and births. These are only concepts. Have you had an experience of at least a single birth? When will you ever realize this mistake? Only when you live with the conviction that I am the self-luminous consciousness, as the Guru has unequivocally stated. With the Guru's word, you will see that you are immortal. Then you will understand that you are a distant seer of sleep and wakefulness. You have taken up the false appearance as true. Hence, you have to take birth again and again. This is what the scriptures say. That is the cause of suffering. Meditate on the Guru that is within. Then he will show you what is death and what is deathlessness. Whatever appears and is sensed is unreal. The entire 5 elemental world is unreal. One says for the sake of saying it that someone is realized and the other is not. One has to understand this. Do not curtail your worldly activities as a sign of detachment. If there is a perfect self in this world, then see for yourself and recognize that it is you, your own self. Nirupana 116, Sunday, July 1st, 1979. Why is this word Atman mentioned at all? Prana carries out all actions. Even samadhi is of the nature of prana. Atman is simply the onlooker. Atman, or self-knowledge, means consciousness. It has no bondage. The only bondage is that our minds identify us with the body. When prana is separated from the body, consciousness vanishes but does not die. This is death from the point of view of the ignorant. For the jnani, it is nothing. The world is in your mind. We are not the body means we are not the food for prana. Consciousness is generated from the essence of food, and the universe is created from consciousness. The action goes on. It is false when viewed as Maya, yet it is true when viewed as Brahman. Both are superimpositions on consciousness. All your dealings are done on the strength of the word. The first word was taught by the mother. All worldly experience has a limited duration. After life ends, is there any consciousness? Remain silent without uttering a single word. It may seem impossible, but make it possible. One who transcends beingness is in a state of indescribable bliss. Maya goes about in many forms, but not a single one is true. Do not believe in any god or deity except your own consciousness, though in the beginning an aspirant may need to do this. The meaning of words lasts so long as the words last. Once the words go, the meaning also goes. When you achieve samadhi, you will know the secret of Maya. The fear of death remains because we believe ourselves to be within the world. The fact is the opposite. The world is projected through us. Man's consciousness is vaster than the world. Maya is a tragic comedy. All these concepts of consciousness. The knowledge I am is proof of the absolute. One who realizes it becomes one with the whole world. Perfect happiness is not possible at the level of consciousness. All this is imperfect. You have to know what is imperfect in order to get perfect bliss. It cannot be witnessed. When your time is coming to an end, do not forget to see how Maya is ending. Then your true, eternal nature will be revealed. Nirupana 117, Thursday, July 5th, 1979. You want a lot of things, but with what identity that you can call your own? Your present identity is that of the nature of food. The body is the food for your consciousness. It is because of your consciousness that you experience the vast world. How long will it be with you? Why do you have it now? And why was it not there before? You achieve a lot of things because of the body. However, the body will not last. It is a fact that you are going to die. Then what use is there of the world, the transient, mundane household life, God and religion to you? People do all sorts of things to make the consciousness bearable. Yet whatever is going to happen will happen. People feel that difficulties could be avoided if you perform penance or chant God's name. The only benefit is that the fear becomes less. Why are you anxious? It is to endure consciousness. If we keep ourselves occupied, we can bear with ourselves. When we are tired, we fall asleep. The fact that you know you are is your consciousness. Because of it, you can know. You may call consciousness as Guru or God. Meditate on it and leave the rest aside. Do not ever equate consciousness with the body. You do not get privacy because you are busy during the day, but who sleeps at night? Is it not your consciousness? Then at that time at least meditate on it. Your thoughts at the time of going to sleep continue to work. It is like when a seed is covered, it sprouts and becomes a tree. Surrender to your consciousness. Keep up the vow of surrender to the Guru's word. On my path of spirituality, effort is of no use. Consciousness has arisen spontaneously. It is self-luminous. If you try to remedy it, it will only get worse. Whatever effort you do is through your identification with the body. What do you do with that which cognizes the body? Does the faith that you are come before or after you believe it to be so? Consciousness is prior to everything. Worship this fact. Was consciousness brought from somewhere else? It is self-luminous. You depend upon your intellect only. Do not get caught up in the cage of your intellect. The easy remedy is to continue saying, Jai Guru, glory to the Guru, without words until you sleep. Then it will continue during sleep. If you become a real devotee, you will transform from devotee to God. Saint Tukaram says, I do not want the Atman. It is better that you are God and I am the devotee. But he said that after self-realization. A rare one takes himself up as consciousness. The rest worship it as Brahman or God. As long as memories are playing havoc, how can there be self-realization? Someday you will realize yourself. Then you will understand that the world is a play of consciousness. The self is your formless, blissful, and true nature. It is neither male nor female. Body consciousness is denial of the self. Is not consciousness prior to words? Forget the mind, think of the self. When there is a meaning to the word, the mind is present. But if there is no meaning to the word, then where's the mind? If the mantra Jai Guru is constantly on, the devotee is happier than when he is asleep. Then there will be success in everything. If someone achieves self-realization, then wherever he is will be a holy place. Even for gods, a human body is rarely available. Who has created this beautiful world? Is it not consciousness in the human body? Do as much worldly activities as you like, but do not betray the faith in yourself. After self-realization, it becomes clear that one is without any birth. The stars have an effect on the human body. As soon as the entity that is born from the parents gets separated, a picture of the sky gets stored inside the entity. The one who has taken birth has no intellect, yet an image of the parents is already captured. Whatever is recorded in that first picture is the destiny. After that, it may be a boy or a girl. There are so many discoveries in the world, but no one knows how the images were taken in consciousness. Then the act of continuous recording of the word, touch, form, taste, and smell continues. This fact is not easily noticed, but those who know its secret transcend birth. All those who were worshipped as incarnations of God had a guru. No one has become a Mahatma without a guru. He is convinced that he is the same as the guru word. It will only happen if the consciousness gets inspired and has the desire. Is it not? That is why I do not insist on anything for anybody. When it arises from within, after hearing it, one gets the worthiness of the one without birth. Will you say with confidence that you were never born? The sight of the seer is not a physical sight. The whole creation is in his sight, but he is beyond the creation. Out of delusion, he believes that he is in the creation. The dream arises out of you. Yet you say that you were going about in a dream. The influence of Maya is such that a man desires to achieve perfect well-being, and yet he believes that he was born. Consciousness is created out of sattva, and is of the nature of sattva, vital life force. But the jnani realizes that he is not the sattva. Out of millions, a rare one is affected by all the action that happens in the world. Please be respectful to these words that you are listening to. It is your good fortune. Then your present will be happy. It will serve you and lead you to the Supreme. Nirupana 118, Monday, July 9th, 1979. Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is believed to be the day of achieving perfection of one's own true nature. After self-realization, the devotional activities continue indirectly. The Satguru cannot be cognized through consciousness. The Satguru cannot be known. With sincere faith, one holds on to the Guru word and consciousness becomes free. Consciousness cannot describe the Satguru. The Satguru is eternal, perfect, and free from desire. One should contemplate on him. In what do you keep faith as you deal with the world? Is it not your consciousness? Yet it is not everlasting. What is understood by your mind is unreliable. The Satguru cannot be comprehended by you, yet he will grant you the treasure of his true and eternal nature as it is. One who is beyond description, beyond quality, is the Satguru. The rest who just talk are not of the nature of the Satguru. Recognize what is untrue. In this untruth you will not find your true nature. Keep meditating. To understand what is the consciousness that meditates and how it has become luminous, you have to hold on to the Guru word. The idea of death will be destroyed only through nirvikalpa samadhi, without any mental construct. It cannot be done through concepts. Be loyal to the faith in yourself. There should be no anxiety such as, what will happen to me? The whole world has arisen spontaneously. Go to the source from where it has arisen. To understand this, devotion to the Guru without any duality is necessary. Nirupana 119, Thursday, July 12th, 1979. You can easily get wrapped up in rituals. That is bondage. What is your greatest concern? Is it not your body? So long as you make spiritual effort with body consciousness, you will not get peace. You cannot put on an act for truth. There is no God other than that by virtue of which you know you are. But even this will not give you lasting peace. When you understand its source, you will become an ocean of peace. You do not have a shape or form. When you become convinced of this, you will become formless. When thoughts disappear, pure consciousness remains. Then right thinking arises in pure consciousness. Through right discrimination, concepts are destroyed. You have to meditate on your consciousness without punishing the body and the mind. From the meditation, various discriminatory thoughts arise. There is not a single thought without ego in it. By creating a thought to understand another thought, purify your selfish intellect. Where there is ego, there is bondage. Consciousness is pure love. Continue chanting Jai Guru, even if it is done silently. By doing this, we awaken ourselves. Guru means consciousness. To remember the Guru is a sign of great fortune. Your consciousness is the all-pervading Guru. The guna consciousness does so many things, but after self-realization it becomes without quality, unmanifest. Consciousness becomes pure and holy by chanting Jai Guru. Then it becomes without quality. Krishna did a lot of dealings in the world, but no quality ever touched him. While dealing with life's affairs, who can claim to be qualityless? Only a jnani can. All chaos is due to a concept. I am the body. The affairs of the world are going on by the strength of a concept. Do not renounce anything. You have only to understand. Rajo guna will not work without expecting the fruit of action. What is painful? Is it your desire to continue your beingness? Rajo guna is involved with identification with the memories. Consciousness, the knowledge I am, is the vision of Narayana, God. In Narayana there is both male as well as female. Pure consciousness is called Narayana. Beings do not know it, hence they suffer misery. Those who have recognized that consciousness is without quality, guna, get tired of staying on in the world. They go to a lonely place, like the Himalayas. The universal consciousness is very vast, but it is unmanifest by nature. You should be close to the Guru so that you feel that your consciousness and the Guru's manifestation as I am are the same. Is any action possible without prana? Is the one who knows prana affected by it? Simply remember that your form is like space. Nirupana 120, Thursday, July 19th, 1979. Our behavior through body consciousness is like the condition of a patient in a hospital. During sickness, one feels the need for oneself. So long as there is sickness, one has to look after oneself very carefully. Sickness means beingness. You might not understand this, but it is important to understand the same. Identification with the body is like a sickness. Therefore, it needs to be taken care of throughout the day. Why? It is because we do not want to lose ourselves. Consciousness is doing all this to protect itself. Yet, it eventually has to go. You look after yourself so that this experience of sickness should not pass away. Since the experience itself is that of sickness, it will come to an end. The Absolute is the true state, and it cannot be known. The known cannot affect the unknown. Why do we do japa and meditation? Is it not in order to protect the consciousness? However, this quality itself is of material origin. It is created through the essence of the body essence of food. Because of body consciousness, it has expectations, desires, and passions. The parents are dead. What use are they now? Then what is the use of even the knowledge that they are gone? Like that, the jnani has also no use of his self-realization. With such discrimination, one goes beyond consciousness. Every being is protecting that which can never be protected in spite of all efforts. All that is desires of protection will not last. What will you call him, in whose association nothing remains? He cannot be given any description at all. How many loaves of bread of the knowledge of spirituality can one bake after all? Can the self be identified with any characteristics? You aspire to get physical and spiritual well-being through your body consciousness, but the body is not your true nature. The one that makes the body function has never been seen dying by anyone. Body consciousness takes all the responsibility and pride. As a result, it becomes a source of misery. The one who is forever awake is the Satguru. He gives you wakefulness. Take that wakefulness and be awakened. Then you will get the true nature of the Satguru. One who follows the Guru word does not have to make much effort. Atman means I am, I exist. When prana separates from the body, the Atman vanishes. Where there is consciousness, there is also time. There is no other. Whatever is you alone. Yet you create duality and expect well-being with the support of that duality. Nirupana 121, Thursday, July 26th, 1979. Millions of Krishnas and Ramas have come and gone. Has any one of them made any change in the nature of consciousness? Consciousness is a quality that arises with the combination of the essence of the 5 elements and prana. It is said that some people can call up to 10 or 12 past lives. But why? Do you not understand that all the births have come out of your consciousness? You say you have had many births, but why and how were you accused of your first birth? When you were not aware of any individuality, did you remember yourself? In order that the manifest should appear, support of an object matter is necessary. How is the manifestation of an individual made up? Who was there prior to manifestation, and where does he want to go by making some effort? After listening to this, you will understand that your consciousness is the quality of the vital life force. It is not you. Only see how consciousness has come over you. Leave all the rest. All complications have started with consciousness. That which has to experience consciousness has no name or form. Hence, it has identified itself with the body. Consciousness depends upon food. You have to find out the ultimate meaning of spirituality. You have to see how the knowingness of your consciousness has arisen. Why does the jnani become free? Because he has understood how consciousness arises and undergoes dissolution. You meditate, but what do you have in your meditation except your body? If you give up your body consciousness, then what will you identify with? how and through what has the birth taken place. You are the quality of the essence of the body. Then how will you go to heaven? Until you get the full understanding, observe how consciousness has arisen. In this 5 elemental vision, have you got a particular identity? When this becomes clear to you, you will understand that you yourself are moving in the form of the whole world. That child of a cowherd, Krishna said, I am all. It is said that Parabrahman has no movement. Then why, you might ask, does he create consciousness, and through it the rest of the world? This is all your concept. Parabrahman does nothing. How long will it take for us to get realization? Until such time when your concepts come to an end. Wakefulness is the primordial illusion, the root Maya. God is also born of Maya. All this trouble is due to consciousness. There is deep peace at the bottom of consciousness. There are millions of states of the mind. Pay attention only to the source. Once the marriage union has been celebrated, you can do what you like. Does anyone need to be taught further? Like that, find out how and why consciousness has arisen. Then you will solve the riddle. If there is no memory, there is no question of forgetting anything. Therefore there is neither memory nor forgetting. Neither exists. There is no jnani of the self. There is only self-realization. Your bondage consists of your concept. Therefore liberation from the concept is required. There is no source for any experience. Everything is perfect and filled to the brim, which means there is nothing. This is the realization of the jnani. The Absolute has no sight of its own. Nirupana 122, Thursday, August 2nd, 1979. What is thought? It is something that is sensed and can be acted upon. The Satguru is beyond thought. He is the eternal Absolute. Body consciousness has concepts like big and small. The devotional songs we sing are not dedicated to any outside entity. They are for the self, our true nature. A man's behavior depends upon the faith he has accepted. The word of the Satguru is as easy as it is difficult. The problem is that you cannot analyze the meaning of it by comparing it to something. The true nature of the Satguru has no beginning, middle, or end. His existence is true and everlasting. It cannot be experienced through practice. The body is the root cause of everything. People practice devotion because they want comforts. It is not because they want God. The nature of Brahman is such that it cannot create any obstacles in anyone's path. Hence you get it if you wish for it. When you become like the meaning of the Guru mantra, you will know what the Guru is. No one can achieve perfect yoga union through body consciousness. Nobody creates obstacles in others' paths. Everyone creates an obstacle for himself through his own concepts. First, there is consciousness. Then comes the sound followed by the word manifestation. That union is called Brahman. It means our sense of I am. Every human being behaves according to the meanings of words. This is called the mind. Because of your mind and words, you say there is Brahman. When consciousness is stabilized at the source, the word dissolves. Consciousness is prior to what is seen and felt. Consciousness in the body is the characteristic of sattva, vital life force. The body may be male or female, but prana and consciousness are neither male nor female. The jnani has no death. Time has an end, not the jnani. When prana goes, consciousness disappears. So who comes and who goes? You practice, but do you become like the word of the Guru? Your faith depends on identification with your body and the mind. They may call him a sage who claims, "Today I'm going, or I shall leave, die after 10 days. But where is he going? To say such a thing is also ignorance. Only an ignorant one projects a future in his mind. The jnani has no future. He is neither the body, nor prana, nor consciousness. He has no enlightenment. I have no name, no form, no color, and no design. This is the result of the grace of the Satguru." Nirupana 123, Sunday, August 5th, 1979. That which knows is formless. It is simply the knowingness. Having no form, it performs no actions. It is the seer. It sees everything. If one is convinced of this, there will no longer be any desire. You see the sky, it has limits. However, you are unlimited. You must be convinced of this. So long as you consider yourself as a visible form, you will have to face death. You wander all over the world because you consider yourself to be a visible form. Until this ends, there will be no peace for you. If you like to listen to this, pay attention. By listening to this, the visible form will disappear. You will not disappear. Do not try to search for the nature of truth yourself. Only be aware of the fact that you are taking the untruth as truth. It is a fact that ultimately consciousness is of no use to you. In the company of the Satguru, it gets purified. When that happens, people will come for your darshan. Even if you know that you are not consciousness, people will still come for the holy sight of your consciousness. You may become extremely learned, yet your body consciousness does not go. It must go. The house is mine, but I am not the house. Similarly, consciousness is mine, but I am not consciousness. Each visible form has a time limit. You say it died. As long as you use the word I, body consciousness has not left you. Maya is the combination of name, form, and consciousness. But you are the knower of these. The knower is there, but he has no sense of being a knower. Find out what that means. One who has knowingness also has an end. One is called the knower because one cognizes the knowingness. He is not known to consciousness. He feels he is, but he is not that feeling. He is the knower of that. A mother feels sad when she sees the pain of her child. She understands the pain of the child, but she is not the child. Similarly, the knower is unmoved. He is not the vital energy, hence he cannot interfere with consciousness. You want knowledge that would fit into your consciousness, but consciousness is the essence of the 5 elements. Knowledge does not remain when consciousness goes. You say the knower does not remain, but who is the witness of that? You say that nothing remains after consciousness leaves, then who is asking the question? If you deny all this, what will you gain? The fear of death will still be there. You go on living accepting a personality, ego, I am this, I am like that. Without that, you are not comfortable. It is very rare that someone lives without an ego. When you are nothing, you will still be able to say, I am Brahman. When I say I am the knower, it is only for your understanding. Consciousness is the root Maya. She is the mother of the world. She stays with the knower as his shadow. Once one gives up body consciousness, who is the husband and how is he related to the wife? Consciousness is very cunning. There is no telling what it will do and how it will act. But with a jnani it is like his shadow. Wakefulness, sleep, pain, and pleasure are due to consciousness. The one who has realized that he is not consciousness, can pain and pleasure affect him? I have nothing to do with consciousness itself, then what can be said about the things known through it? If I accuse someone of being a fool, it is accusing my own consciousness, as there is only one consciousness. By listening to this, you are going to be empty. If you want to keep your consciousness intact, do not come here. Is that not bondage? That which sees the body is within the body. It is consciousness. The knower does not take any visible thing to be true. The world is known through ignorance. Nobody understands this fact. The birthplace of consciousness is ignorance. First, ignorance got created. It was confined for 9 months. Then it came into the world. When ignorance goes, knowingness disappears. The ignorance implies unmanifest. Only through meditation will you realize how exactly you are. When consciousness becomes pure ignorance, it is called samadhi. Even great sages have not thought about the one who was closed in for 9 months. Who sees? Consciousness sees, but his behavior depends on the vital life force. That which takes the picture as true is also the ignorance, the ultimate source. Guru is the most important word of all words. He is not an individual, a personality. That through which the manifestation has arisen as the Guru. In the beginning, take yourself as I am not the body, but I am consciousness in the body. It is difficult to stay like that. Therefore, they identify it as Rama or Krishna or Brahman. The best way to worship consciousness is by treating it as the Guru. That is how it is pleased. Then devotion and the devotee become one, and his knowledge becomes of the nature of God. Consciousness is the knowingness. One who is the knower of consciousness does not have a sense of being the knower. Consciousness is many-faced. It has been created. Its source is ignorance. One who has recognized this has no sense of being the knower. Everyone is convinced that whatever he knows is quite correct. How peculiar it is. In prison for 9 months, along with ignorance, were also created wakefulness and sleep, as well as thirst and hunger. Consciousness in the body is the main hindrance. To tolerate it, one has to do many things. In order to understand it, devotion to the Satguru is necessary. The world is created through pure ignorance. The feeling I am is also untrue. Because of it you suffer. This knowledge is actually easy and open. Therefore there are not many takers for it. People are attracted to what is difficult and complicated. As a deer has a fragrant substance in the navel, similarly you recognize a fragrance within your heart. Consciousness in the body is the essence of food. It is the fragrance. That fragrance starts diminishing if the movement of prana starts fading by reason of absence of food and water. Pay attention to the listener. Whose information is he listening to? Then the Satguru's grace will descend upon you.